Dzisiaj naszym gościem jest Alisa Berger, autorka filmu K-Saram.
사람들이 해지는지 죽을 때 또 가채비 되는지.
Zanim przejdziemy do filmu i do pytań dotyczących filmu, proszę powiedz naszym widzom, gdzie teraz jesteś, Alisa. Czy jesteś w Tokio, czy jesteś w Kolonii? Pytam o to, bo z twojej biografii wynika, że realizujesz wiele międzynarodowych projektów artystycznych i filmowych. Powiedz proszę, nad czym teraz pracujesz?
Yes, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for inviting the film, I want to say, and I'm very happy it's going to premiere in Dublin. I'm right now in Tokyo. It's night, as you can see. And well, I have two projects here in Japan that are dealing with different themes. And that's how I came first time to be here. And then also through other work opportunities, I came to travel more and work also additionally on my projects here and in Germany, where I'm also based, where my family lives. Maybe I have also, but originally I'm from Russia or the ex-Soviet Union. I was born in Russia and raised in Ukraine in an ex-Polish city, actually, in Lviv or Lemberg. And then immigrated with my family to Germany. So
Mam w takim razie pytanie. Mówisz o społeczności K-Saram. Też ta nazwa znajduje się w tytule twojego filmu. Czy możesz wyjaśnić znaczenie tego skrótu? Co oznacza ta nazwa, K-Saram?
Yes, so basically this film is about a part of my family who are part of a Korean community in Russia. It's the internationally, or in English they're called the Soviet Koreans, but in Russia they are just called Koreans. And they call themselves though K-Saram, which means Koryo is like one of the kingdoms that Korea has been before it was occupied by Japan, and after that it became North and South Korea. So before that there were different kingdoms. One of them was Choson, that was the last kingdom before, and one of them was called Koryo. So the people, because they left Korea, like these ancestors of mine left Korea while it was occupied by Japan, and that was before it was separated. So it's hard to say they are North Koreans or they are South Koreans. So they are called, in Korea, they are called Koryo-in, but in Russia, they call themselves K-Saram, and Saram means a person or people in Korean. And then I kind of changed the title to K-Saram because when I was editing the movie, or like also shooting parts of it, I was in South Korea, and of course we all know about the popularity of K products like K-drama, K-beauty, and K-pop. So that's how the title came to be.
Rosja jest krajem bardzo wieloetnicznym. Jest tam bardzo wiele grup społecznych, bardzo ciekawych, bardzo różnych. Dlaczego ta społeczność tak bardzo cię zainteresowała? Co w niej jest takiego szczególnego, że przyciągnęło twoją uwagę?
Because it has something to do with myself. I am half Korean, so I am part of this community, and of course it was an exploration of my roots. I mean, I did a film before that also exploring more the history, which like was a great research for myself personally and for the film. And yeah, that's basically the reason, because it's of course it's interesting to understand where you come from, and but also to see how these roots are dissolving, because the things you see in the movie, like the language that they speak, the Koryomar, it's almost gone in like the generation even of my mother and in my generation, of course. And the more I, of course, like for me, making film is part of my life. So because of that, of course, the things that are important for me in my life, in my growth, and in my future, maybe, become important for me as film projects. So since maybe my next step in my life is gonna be with a person, make a family, and then my root will dissolve. So that's kind of like honoring the roots and the history where they come from. And yeah, that's basically maybe the answer to the question.
Na początku filmu pada takie pytanie, co trzyma nas razem? W filmie przyglądasz się tradycji kultu przodków, ale ludzie, których nam przedstawiasz w filmie, robią wrażenie witalnych, żyjących dniem dzisiejszym, otwartych. Czy to właśnie ta tradycja najbardziej łączy społeczność, o której opowiadasz?
I think the question is by me answered very quickly in the beginning of the film. What keeps us together, in my opinion, what keeps us together is the fact that we all will approach death at some point. So this film is a lot about like diseased people, like death and the transition from life into death, and how we deal with it as family members, as people who know that they will at some point their life will come to end and that their loved ones will leave us. So that's maybe something what I see as something optimistic, because no matter what happens in this world or in society, there is one thing that we all can be certain about. And yeah, I think the tradition of honoring the ancestors, but it's also always connected with the idea of accepting death, is very central in this film. But also because like tradition, if we talk about tradition in general, there can be very negative things also. So the breaking of tradition is also very present. I mean, in my family line, it's very present. So the certain thing of like death and ancestors and continuation, that if you call that tradition, then yes. So maybe what you are referring to is also like that these rituals that they are doing are some kind of like remained elements of shamanism in traditional like rituals. So yeah, that of course was also very interesting for me, to see that even in a ex-Soviet society where religion didn't have any impact at some point, and these rituals are practiced, and this honoring of the death of the dead ancestors are happening. And the same thing is also actually in South Korea, where I was. It's of course it's nowadays a very Christian country, because during the industrialization, Christianity became very popular. So even though people would say like I'm Catholic or I'm evangelic, they would still maybe have these like shamanic rituals as part of their practice in certain occasions. Yeah.
Właśnie w ten sposób, tymi ostatnimi zdaniami odpowiedziałaś na moje kolejne pytanie, bo chciałem właśnie zapytać o ten wątek szamański i szamanizmu. Czy on Cię też interesuje jakby w innych projektach, nie tylko w tym filmie? Czy zajmujesz się tym jakby poza tym filmem?
So actually the K-Saram is hopefully supposed to be like a triptych, like a trilogy. I've been working on a second part already, which very naturally came to be shot when I was in South Korea, when I presented this film in South Korea, where I went a little bit deeper into, but if you ask me generally about shamanism, for now, of course, it's only like Korean shamanism that I investigate, or that is part of my next project. But in general, that's a very interesting field. Yeah, definitely for the future.
Czekamy w takim razie na Twoje następne filmy, a kończąc już, ponieważ już powoli musimy zmierzać do finału naszej rozmowy, chciałbym zapytać, z którym z koreańskich państw bardziej identyfikują się teraz rosyjscy Koreańczycy, o których opowiadałaś, czy z Koreą Północną, czy z Południową, czy nie ma to dla nich większego znaczenia? Czy mogłabyś rozwinąć ten temat?
So, I mean, that's really hard to say. That's the whole point of the film, that these Koreans, they are connected to both, to North and South, and they are very connected to Russia, because their like grandparents were, or fathers and mothers were very serious communists and so on. So I think this film is really about like transformation, as much as like maybe in shamanism or in this like poetic elements of the film, it's about like the transformation of a living soul into like something next. As much as the film is also about the transformation of like Koreans to Soviet Russians, to something very unclear what they are now, but they identify probably as just Koreans. This is like their own, I wouldn't say they are like North or South, but there are a lot of Korean diaspora all over the world that decided that there were like sometimes even just, how do you call it? Gastarbeiter, like time workers, you know, people who just go to some country to work and then they want to come back. So after the division, after the Japanese occupation and the division of South and North, there were so many Koreans that decided they will not go back because it's not their home country anymore, because it's divided. So they are waiting, there's like generations maybe waiting for the reunification. So that's also, of course, a topic maybe you have heard at the end of the titles. I say a little phrase about that. So yeah, so I would say they are above North and South, and they stand for the reunification of South and North Korea, maybe in some utopian or maybe realistic future.
Dziękuję bardzo. Teraz już musimy kończyć nasze spotkanie. Chciałbym Ci życzyć sukcesów w kolejnych projektach i bardzo chętnie zobaczymy Twoje filmy na festiwalu. Przysyłaj to, co robisz. Zobaczymy, nie mogę powiedzieć, że będą w programie, ale na pewno je z przyjemnością obejrzymy. No i cóż, życzę dobrej nocy.
Thank you very much. Dziękuję.
Dziękuję.
Dziękuję.